Welcome back and welcome to our weekly edition of All Things Women in Sports. Let's start this week with the WNBA and the All-Star weekend in Chicago. This year's event sold out Chicago's United Center, which is the NBA's largest arena. Nearly 20,000 fans turned out to watch Team Spoon defeat Team Coop, and it's now the first time the WNBA All-Star game outsold the NBA All-Star game, which had 16,000 fans back in February. And it was extra special for this woman right here in the blue. New York Liberty's Jonquel Jones ended up lifting the 2026 All-Star Game MVP trophy, and that's a historic win. Jones is now the first person in league history to have a four-part MVP sweep. She won the 2021 League MVP, the 2023 Commissioner's Cup MVP, the 24 Finals MVP, and now the 26 All-Star MVP. And more history was made during the three-point contest on Friday night. Dallas rookie AZ Fudd won the three-point contest, becoming the first ever rookie to do so. But now that All-Star Weekend is over, teams are returning for the second half of the season, which starts up tonight. So let's take a look at the standings as teams make their final pushes to the playoffs, which begin on September 27th. We'll start in the West, where the Minnesota Lynx are still on top, as they have been all year long. And this is a stacked conference. The top four teams you see here, the Lynx, Valkyries, Aces, and Wings, are actually the top four teams across the entire league. Over in the East, it's the Indiana Fever who have surged to the top, closely followed by the Atlanta Dream, who are only one game back. In the WNBA, playoffs are not always split evenly between conferences. Instead, it's just the top 8 teams overall that make it to postseason play. And right now, that would include the top 4 in the West and the first 4 you see listed over here in the East. Now, in other basketball news, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert used this year's All-Star Weekend to announce a major investment in the WNBA's officiating. Starting in 2027, the league will have a centralized replay center with advanced cameras installed in every arena. Right now, the league will use existing NBA infrastructure while the WNBA works on adding its own technology to the review system. And USA Women's Basketball has added new players to the national FIBA 3-on-3 team. Taylor Bigby, Michaela Blakes, Ariel Powers, right there on your screen, and Madison Scott are all joining the 3-on-3 roster for Team USA for the rest of the season, and that includes an August 1st stop in Tokyo. This is standard roster turnover for the 3-on-3 team. These 4 take over for 4 that just won multiple consecutive titles, including gold at last month's FIBA 3-on-3 World Cup. All right, let's turn now to some soccer. The WAFCON 2026 kicked off this weekend. It's the Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament, and 16 teams are battling it out in Morocco. Powerhouse Nigeria is looking for its 11th WAFCON title. Meanwhile, Malawi is playing in its first ever WAFCON, led by Kansas City current superstar Temwa Chawinga and her sister Tabitha. But there's more than just a trophy at stake here. All 4 semifinalists earn direct qualification to FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil next year. And big news for the U.S. women's national team. They have locked in a multi-year licensing renewal with EA Sports FC ahead of the World Cup next year. This means Team USA, who won the World Cup in 2019, will be prominently featured in future releases, including EA FC 27. So let's take a quick look at the standings in the NWSL, or the National Women's Soccer League. The top 8 teams in this league of 16 move on to the playoffs, which begin November 6th, and it's the Washington Spirit, led by Trinity Rodman, who sit at the top. Right behind them, it's New York's Gotham FC, who are the defending champions. All right, in pro softball, history repeated itself this weekend. On Sunday, the Utah Talons completed the 2-game sweep over the Chicago Bandits to claim their second straight AUSL title. It's the second year for the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, and it's the second year the championship has come down to Utah and Chicago. But right before the championship game, the league held its annual awards on Friday night, and Chicago's Sammy Williams won Batter of the Year, setting records in both doubles and RBIs while batting just under 500. And Utah's Montana Fouts took home Pitcher of the Year. Then she went on to dominate in the championship game, pitching a complete game and allowing just 1 run on 8 hits with 4 strikeouts. Now the AUSL will gear up for the 2026 All-Star Cup coming up on August 8th. All right, finally tonight, let's turn to some track and field. This weekend was the USA Outdoor Track and Field Championships, and Sha'Carri Richardson is back on top. Richardson won her third career 100-meter title, finishing in 10.77 seconds, and saying afterward, "It feels phenomenal to be back in a better place mentally, physically, and emotionally." Now, in the slightly longer 200-meter race, world champion Melissa Jefferson Wooden won it all with a season best time of 21.69 seconds. Congratulations to them. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Women in Sports.